The word attitude, by its definition, is a settled way of thinking. It is a settled way of feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in your behavior. Now, you may not know this, but in everything that you do in life, it is often going to be shaped by your attitude, meaning that your attitude is what is going to determine how you respond to everything in your life. Now, according to Charles Swindoll, I'm going to read this, and this is so critical. Charles Swindoll said that attitude is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, than education, than money, circumstances, than failures and successes. Attitude is more important than what others think, say, or do. It is more important than appearance, ability, or skill. It will make or break a business, a home, a friendship, an organization. The remarkable thing is, I have a choice every day of what my attitude will be. Now, I cannot change the actions of others. I cannot change the inevitable. The one thing I can change is my attitude. Life is 10% what happens to me and 90% how I react to it. Talking about attitude. Now, there are a few things that I want to quickly point out here that I think you should pay attention to. The very first thing is that attitude is a choice. Attitude is a choice. Why? Because it is always within your power to choose what state or condition your mind will operate in. Now, most people do not understand, why are we starting with the issue of attitude here? Think about attitude as the foundation to a house. In order for you to become successful in anything, the underlying foundation, what holds it together, is your attitude. Your attitude is what will attract the successes that you have in life. Your attitude is what will determine the kind of friendships that you have. Your attitude is what will determine the kind of information that you receive. If you have, your attitude will determine the kind of rewards that you get in life. So when you hear me talking about attitude, I am talking about building a foundation for your success in life, because without the proper attitude, and I use the word proper because attitude can be positive or negative, and remember, it is a choice. So if you want to become successful in life, the very first thing you must pay attention to is attitude. Now listen, in the next 4 weeks, I am going to be taking you through a very systemic journey on how to develop the proper attitude for success in your life, business, ministry, career, or whatever it is that you want to do, even your marriage, your relationship with your kids. Why? Because attitude is a universal ingredient that you must put in the foundation of your life, not in the foundation of someone else's life. Attitude is a personal thing. It's like the air you breathe. Nobody can breathe on your behalf. So your attitude will determine the kind of life that you experience. A lot of marriages are falling apart simply because of attitude problems. A lot of, careers are falling apart because of attitude problems. It's not that the person is not skilled. It's not that the person is not lovable. It's not that the person is not amazing. The only problem is that the individual has a poor attitude or a bad attitude, and that just derails everything. So that is why, for me, I have learned over the last 20 to 25 years in my journey to success in different areas, in my business, in my family, in my career, I realized and I discovered that the key ingredients that I must master is attitude. And now I began by saying attitude is a choice. Why? Because you and I have the power to determine how we respond to things around us. That chosen state oftentimes determines the rewards that we receive. If your attitude is poor, then the outcomes that you receive in life will also be poor. Now, if you remember, number 2, I said attitude can be positive or it can be negative. What am I saying? Attitude is a very deeply rooted individual belief system that varies from person to person. That means my attitude will often be different irrespective of whatever race, gender, orientation, upbringing, or whatever it is that I have. You see, it is the reason why two people will be in the same circumstance or in the same situation and will respond differently. Now, think about this, for example. The other day I was traveling, and for some reason, the plane was delayed. All right. And there were people who just the simple delay in the schedule just messed up their entire day. Meaning that the person is just upset, cannot think about anything. All they're just doing is fuming and getting mad about everything. Phone call, everything just became messed up. Why? Because their response to that situation has shaped the outcome of the rest of their day. But somebody else says, you know what? I cannot do anything about this delay. It has happened. It has happened. So what do? Pick up my phone, call the other end, and let them know, hey, you know what? I am going to be a little bit late, or I am going to show up when I show up. But in the meantime, I sit down, I picked up my laptop, began to do some work, or began to read a book. Now, one person has dealt with the issue, has sat down to begin to do something productive, at the same time to add value to their life. But somebody else is just sitting down there being angry and complaining to everybody. You cannot change that situation, but you can change the way you behave. Now, that behavior in itself is a very deeply rooted thing that can shape the outcomes that you get in life. At the end of the day, you can't change, where you end up, because of that situation, but you can change the way you respond to that same situation. Now, like I said, attitude can be positive or it can be negative, but the key thing is developing a positive attitude in every situation that you're in. A positive attitude helps you to cope more easily with the daily challenges that life is going to throw at you. It will cause you to become optimistic about life. It makes it easier to avoid things that will cause you stress and worry. Why? Because without having the right attitude, you will begin to adopt the wrong mental state to life. It is very, very important for you to pay attention to the changes around you, because your attitude is going to fluctuate based on the things that are going on that concern you. So having the right mental attitude will determine and ensure that at the end of every day, you have the right results in everything that concerns you. Now, there's one more thing I'm going to say before I wrap this up for today. Attitude takes time. You do not develop the right attitude overnight. You did not develop the wrong attitude overnight. It took time for you to get from where you are, to get from where you started to where you are today. Remember that it is not something that can be formed that quickly. And that is one reason why I want to take the next 4 weeks to take you through systemically, one step at a time, to help you develop the right attitude, because it's a progressive state of mind that is developed throughout the course of your life. Now, there are about 25 different steps. I call them steps, or because you need to develop one to get to the next. It's a progressive journey. So I want to take you through one at a time over the next 4 weeks. We'll talk about one every single day for the next 4 weeks, so that you can be able to master some of these things that I'm talking about. But today, let me just give you a very high level on some of the things that we're going to be covering, and just to give you a clear picture on how to develop a positive mental attitude. The first thing is you have to start speaking right words. You have to start speaking positive words. Instead of saying you are horrible, you are not good enough, maybe you need to start saying that you are good enough and you can. Because you hear both internally and externally. The way we hear internally is different from the way we hear externally. You see, when you're processing a thought, it comes from within and your ear hears it. Your inner ear hears it. But when you speak something out, your outer ear processes it inwards in a different way. So it is very important that both your inner ear and outer ear hear the same thing in order for that to become part of your creative experiences in life. So make sure that you start speaking positive words. Number 2, focus on the good. Focus on the good side of your emotions. Don't always be afraid and petrified and be thinking about how things are never going to be good enough. I mean, don't focus on the bad. Think about the good side of things. There is always good in every situation. So focus on those. Number three, practice positive affirmation. What is positive affirmation? Basically, it's speaking to yourself that it is going to be fine. Telling yourself it is going to be fine. See the good side of life. You see, no matter what happens, remind yourself that it can still be better. Positive affirmation, meaning come up with statements that add value to you, that make you feel good, that cause you to believe in yourself. Number four, direct your thoughts towards positive things. Number four, direct your thoughts towards positive things, meaning that you should always see the brighter side of life. Don't always see doom and gloom in every situation. There is always a positive side of things. It doesn't matter what the situation is in your country. Begin to tell yourself it is possible, it is workable. It's just a matter of time. Maybe I am the one that needs to step up. See the brighter side of everything. It is very important for you to direct your thoughts to the brighter side of things. Number five, believe in yourself. Believe that you will succeed. I can't overemphasize this. It doesn't matter what your life's experiences are. If you continue to talk down on yourself, if you continue to believe that you're not good enough, if you continue to believe that you will not succeed, then that will be your life story. Even when it seems impossible, tell yourself you will succeed. Even when the economy looks bad, tell yourself you will succeed. Even when it seems there's no way out, tell yourself that you will succeed. You have to hear yourself say it. You've got to convince yourself. You are the greatest cheerleader that you can ever have. You are the greatest motivator you have. You are the only one that can convince yourself that you can succeed. Number six, analyze what went wrong. Sit down, ask yourself, where did I miss it? What mistakes did I make? How can I do this better next time? Because too often we are so caught up in, oh, it is not working, things are so bad, we made a huge mistake, without sitting down to analyze where we made mistakes, where are the gaps, so that the next time you approach that thing, you will be able to do it properly and do it right. So be sure to analyze what went wrong. Number seven, give yourself credit. Come on, you tried, you put in some effort. Too often we beat ourselves because we feel we're not good enough. Listen, it doesn't matter whether things are working or not. You put in some effort. Give yourself some credit. Pat yourself on the back. Let yourself know that, man, you tried. Hey, girl, you gave it your best shot, but you can still do better. There's room for improvement. And that simply will begin to change the way you approach things. And this is so critical. Number eight, forgive yourself. Listen, let me take a moment and talk about this. We've all made mistakes. Nobody is perfect. We've all made mistakes. If you sit down there and keep criticizing yourself, telling yourself you're not good enough, you are such a horrible person, look at the mistakes you made in life, nobody will ever believe in you, then that's exactly what you're going to get. First of all, believe in yourself and then forgive yourself. There's a saying from, if you're a Christian, the Bible talks about forgiving yourself. It said forgive yourself. It said forgive others even as, how do you say? He said, let us forgive others even as we've been forgiven. Meaning that if you forgive yourself, it becomes easier for you to forgive others. Begin by forgiving yourself. Love yourself. Believe that anyone can make mistakes, because if you can forgive yourself, you can forgive any person else. So make sure that you forgive yourself, especially if you make so obvious mistakes. There are times I sit down and I smack myself on the side of the head and I'm just saying, what was wrong with you? What was I thinking? But that doesn't mean that I should sit down and put myself on the cross and crucify myself. No, I just get up, I forgive myself, and I move on. No matter how bad that situation is, it is imperative for you to learn how to forgive yourself. Number 9, learn from the past. Learn from the past. We all make mistakes. The past mistakes are just roadmaps or signposts on how not to do it next time. So failure is always an integral part of success. And it is very, very, very important for you and I to make sure that we learn from our past mistakes. Number 10, remind yourself that it could be worse. Yes. You see, you may not have gotten the outcome that you desired, but it could be worse than where you landed. So at least give yourself some credit. Be thankful that at least some things are working. Everything may not be working, but be thankful that something is working. Somebody may say, hey, look at you. You have a child out of wedlock. Great. You know what? I could pretty much have been dead. look at the worst case scenario and be thankful that it could be worse. All right, so it is very, very imperative that you give yourself credit, forgive yourself. It is very, very important for you to learn from your past, and then to always remind yourself that things could be worse. Number 11, see the opportunities in every bad situation. There's always a positive side to every bad situation. Number 12, there's a way that I put it. I call it like life is a battery. Why is this? Because a battery always has two sides. There's the positive and there's the negative. The two coming together is what makes any battery work. It's what creates current. It's what creates electricity. It's what creates life. So the good, the bad, and the ugly must come together in order for you to become successful in anything in life. So every negative experience has a positive exit, or has a positive outcome, or a positive experience somewhere within. Identify those positive points and be sure to connect with them. Number 13, see the future you desire. Think in pictures. Always see where you're going. If you cannot see the future that you're going, you will never get there. As a matter of fact, if you don't see anything, that simply means you're going nowhere. It is very important for you to create a picture of the future that you want to see. And then number 14, act upon the things that you see. You see, a lot of people are always wanting to say, hey, you know what? I want to be successful in life. I have dreams. I have aspirations. I believe this. They speak a lot. But you see, speaking is not enough. Speaking, affirming, all these other things that we've talked about will only help you and steer you and give you momentum and motivation towards your dreams. But in order for you to truly attain to the things that you desire, it is very, very important for you to start acting upon those things that you dream about. All right. And then number 15, which is very, very critical, be conscious of your attitude. At every point in time, make sure you stop and evaluate. How is my attitude? Is my attitude okay? It is a conscious effort that requires a lot of practice. You cannot become a master over your attitude overnight. It takes time. So remember the points that I made, that number 1, that attitude is everything. Learning to track your attitude and its impact on your performance, your relationships, and everything around you is one of the most important steps that you can take towards achieving your maximum potential in life. And if you don't pay attention to your attitude, it will shape the outcomes that you have in life. Number 2, attitude is not just everything. Attitude is a choice. That means you have the power to make the right choices. You have the ability, the capacity, and the wherewithal to be able to decide what the outcomes of your life would be through your attitude. Number 3, attitude can be positive, it can be negative. I will encourage you to choose the positive attitudes, because those are the ones that will deliver your dreams. Those are the ones that will deliver the outcomes that you desire. Those are the ones that will put a smile on your face rather than a frown or a tear. So be sure that you connect to having the right positive attitude. And I gave you examples as to how those attitudes can be developed. That number 1, your words have to be positive. Number 2, you have to focus on the good. Number 3, you have to practice positive affirmations. Number 4, direct your thoughts towards positive things. Number 5, believe that you will succeed. Number 6, analyze where you made mistakes. Number 7, give yourself credit. Number 8, forgive yourself. Number 9, learn from your past. Number 10, remind yourself that it could be worse. Number 11, see the opportunities in every situation. Number 12, life is a battery, so be sure to engage both the positive and the negative. Number 13, be sure to picture the future you desire. Number 14, put your thoughts to action. And then number 15, be conscious of your attitude at all times. If you can put all of these together, then you can be guaranteed that your success will come to full manifestation in a matter of time, because attitude is not something, which is the last point, number 5, attitude is not something that you develop overnight. It takes time for you to develop the right attitude. So once again, thank you so much for joining me for Private Transformation Minutes. If you want to watch this video in its entirety, I will encourage you to visit our YouTube channel, Private Transformation Network, on YouTube. You can also check out my personal site, which is Dala Alfonso as well, on YouTube, for be able to catch up on these videos and other things. So thank you once again for joining me. And then remember to invite your friends. Same time tomorrow, we are going to be starting the ingredients of attitude, the 25 to 28 different principles that you must develop progressively in order for you to have the right attitude for success. So once again, God bless you, and I will look forward to being a part of your day every day for the next 4 weeks. And if you've not yet subscribed, please be sure that you subscribe both to my page, also to the Private Transformation Network pages and groups on Facebook, and then also on YouTube, so that you can get notifications on when teachings or materials like this are posted. So thank you, and have a fantastic day.